Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Minister of National Security commends law enforcement personnel for their vigilance and hard work at making this year's carnival the safest ever. The Minister of Health endorses carnival festivities through health and fitness chip on Carnival Monday. And the nation's highways to benefit from environmental beautification program set to commence soon. Thank you for joining us. Forget the title of Happiest Man Alive. Try the Happiest Minister Alive. Now, this is how National Security Minister Senator the Honourable Gary Griffith describes himself as he reiterates his belief that Carnival 2014 was the safest carnival ever. Minister Griffith makes this assertion following a walkabout of the capital city, accompanied by Police Commissioner Stephen Williams, Chief of Defence Staff Major General Kenrick Maharaj, and Director of the National Operations Centre Gavin Hira. Minister Griffith insists the presence of the leaders of national security on the streets is necessary, and it is time that those who ensure national security lead by example and walk the streets just like those under their command. The National Security Minister says the heavy police presence on the streets for Carnival has taken away the perception and fear of crime and commends the Commissioner of Police and Chief of Defence Staff on a job well done. He extends his commendation to all members of the protective services for working together, operating in a professional manner, ensuring a sense of stability and safety throughout the country, and employing the tactical strategies to act as an effective crime deterrent. Minister Griffith emphasizes that Carnival is a season, not just 2 days, and praises the protective services for their hard work throughout the season. While plans are already afoot to ensure next year's Carnival is even safer, Minister Griffith is urging all citizens to continue to work with the law enforcement officials, and he guarantees that success will follow. In other news, the enthusiasm of the young people of Couva in learning and practicing to play the steel pan has been praised and urged by Member of Parliament for Couva South, Rudranat Indar Singh, to continue. The MP believes through the guidance of senior band members the way is being paid for the constituency to make its cultural contribution to Trinidad and Tobago.
In the 2014 National Steel Band Panorama competition, medium band category, the NGC Couva Joylanders held a three-way tie for the 5th position. First place went to San Fernando-based outfit Pan Elders. But despite this defeat, the NGC Couva Joylanders is being urged to be persistent in its quest for the coveted title and also to be proud of its heritage. Member of Parliament for Couva South, Rudranat Indar Singh, who visited the pan tent at Railway Road, Couva, praised the talent of the group and advised the youngsters to be more aware of the rich history of the steel pan movement in this country.
If you go back in history, and I do not know how many of the young people in this band was or has been made aware of, in the good old days or in the initial stages and so on, pan players was looked down. Pan players was scoffed upon, and in a way too, a lot of people had to hide and play pan and so on because parents and so on did not want to have their children and so on involved in playing pan. Today, pan is the national instrument of Trinidad and Tobago, and let it be known that it is the only musical instrument that was ever invented in the 21st century by Trinidadians and Tobagonians.
The MP told the band he was proud of them becoming the cultural brand of Couva.
As your Member of Parliament, I am extremely proud of your achievements over the last couple of years in making it to the national finals, and more so, making it to the national finals in 2014, and for continuing to put Couva on not only the cultural landscape of this country, but putting Couva on the landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. because what BP Renegades might be to Charlotte Street, what Siparia Deltoons might be to the Siparia community, I want Couva Joylanders to be the brand of Couva in terms of saying what we have to offer from a cultural point of view.
Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
The Ministry of Health hosted a booth at the Carnival Village at the Queen's Park, Savannah, Port of Spain. Members of the public were treated to information on how to maintain a healthier lifestyle by increasing physical activity, eating healthier, avoiding smoking, and much more. Now, it is hoped that initiatives such as these will assist in the battle against chronic non-communicable diseases and increase the overall health of our population. The Minister of Health, Dr. The Honorable Fuad Khan, visited the Ministry of Health's booth at the National Carnival Commission's Carnival Village. Now, this included blood pressure testing, blood glucose testing, and many more. Meanwhile, the minister spoke at the Health and Fitness Chip on Carnival Monday, which took place at 6 p.m.
Our steel band is our national instrument, and we suppose to cherish the steel band. That art form has been slowly disappearing, and fitness is where we want to go in this country. And we need to combine both together. It was the idea of the ministry and pushed forward by the minister and the executive.
The Steel Band Parade featured 35 bands from across the country, including Neil and Massey All-Stars and Petrotrin Phase 2. News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. The Minister of Works and Infrastructure has announced plans to improve the aesthetics of the nation's highways. Dr. The Honorable Suraj Ratan Rambajan was speaking at the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding with CPAP at the Ministry's administrative building in Port of Spain for the general upkeep of the highway medians.
A drive along the Uriah Butler and Solomon Hochoy highways will soon be a scenic one, as flowers and trees will be planted along the median. Works and Infrastructure Minister Dr. Suraj Ratan Rambajan signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with CPAP at the Ministry's Port of Spain office for the maintenance and upkeep of the highway median.
Consider if you were to be driving up from San Fernando, from Debe now, right into Port of Spain, and in the middle of that highway, you see the grass is so well groomed. You can even see flower plants being planted. You see clumps of bougainvilleas as you drive along. You know what a beautiful feeling you'll arrive at work? It will change your mentality. These are the things we go to Canada and we go to the US and we come back and say, boy, look how nice they have their highways. Well, now you are going to be able to say, look how pretty our highways are looking.
The minister says this project will be starting sometime after Carnival. Minister Rambajan also commended CPAP workers for their efforts in keeping the communities clean.
Let us not in any way take away from what they are doing, because without the contribution that CPAP workers are making, the environment of Trinidad and Tobago will not be as beautiful as it is or have the aesthetic appeal that it's had. And I think we owe them a round of applause and our personal congratulations.
The minister said CPAP employees work for 6 hours in the hot sun. In addition, working under very difficult conditions while some of us sit down in air-conditioned offices.
And I want to put on record this morning my personal commendations, my personal gratitude, and in this case now the gratitude of this ministry to CPAP and the number of CPAP workers who will be coming to work on this program, contributing to the aesthetics and the maintenance of the highways in Trinidad and Tobago.
According to Minister Rambajan, from the top of the Uriah Butler Highway right down to San Fernando, some 800 clumps will be planted on the median. He said 800 bougainvilleas and other trees in the center will be planted. Joseph Lopez, News 4.
Meanwhile, workers under the Community-Based Environmental Protection and Enhancement Program continue to benefit from the wide offerings that they are exposed to. The most recent is a CPAP workforce assessment.
The CPAP Company Limited continues to do more by going beyond its mandate of environmental protection and enhancement. The company recognizes the need for capacity building and purposeful training of its expansive labor force and seeks to continuously provide the opportunity for its contractors and contract employees to be assessed and trained so that they can make a more meaningful contribution to society. According to Chairman Mr. Adish Denarine, CPAP is providing the opportunity for workers to realize their potential and development the skills necessary to secure gainful employment after the CPAP program. He said this brings into fruition one of the more important components of the program, which is to facilitate the development of the nation's human capital to mitigate existing social and economic problems. Recently, the CPAP Company Limited partnered with the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program to provide a forum for CPAP workers to be evaluated through skill assessment centers. The first sessions took place on Monday, February 17th and Tuesday, February 18th, 2014. The assessment sessions determine the essential skills and training required for the workers to become more marketable and successfully transition into the national labor force. The CPAP Company Limited is an agency under the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and focuses on the environmental protection, enhancement and beautification in environmental work areas where more attention needs to be paid. By developing the program at the community level, CPAP's goal was to enlighten communities as to the need to improve and protect the environment. It was felt that by involving people at the community level, they would have a larger stake in preserving their environment. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
$2.6 million has been expended in Tobago by the National Commission for SelfHelp Limited since October 2012 to date. This was revealed by Chairman Surajadeo Manguru during a tour of projects on the sister isle.
After spending $2.6 million in repairs for maintenance of projects in Tobago between October 2012 to date, Chairman of the National Commission for SelfHelp Limited, NCSHL, Surajadeo Manguru, visited the sister isle to get a first-hand look at what has been taking place thus far. During his time in Tobago, Mr. Manguru visited 4 starter houses, 2 already completed, the 3rd is almost completed, and construction is set to begin on the 4th shortly. One of the houses is for Jason Charles, a socially challenged ambassador for the Ministry of People and Social Development. All the projects undertaken are the Top Hill Action Committee roadway, which, when completed, the 250 steps will give way to a roadway, making access easy for the physically challenged persons. This was done at a cost of $71,000. Additionally, over $120,000 went to the St. Mary's Anglican Church. The Commission also funded the Pan Fantastic Steel Orchestra to the tune of $127,000 towards rehabilitation of a building at Mason Hall, which was given by the Tobago House of Assembly and Ms. Josephine Price, a severely handicapped person. Chief Executive Officer Mr. Raymond Baldio Singh said all Tobago projects were given the fullest support by the Commission regardless of the request. He noted that the Commission was there to work with everyone and its aim is to provide a socially, physically and culturally friendly environment. Felicia Wilson, Mon News 4.
The Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago has recommissioned its student caravan. According to the ACTT, the world of learning has become increasingly challenging for students as technology now plays a major part in how information is relayed. As such, this initiative is part of its support system for students in this 21st century.
We have started this initiative sometime around in 2010, where our first goal was to ensure that schools where students are in secondary schools all over Trinidad, especially in the far outreaching areas, to ensure that they learn about the kinds of services that the Accreditation Council offers to our young potential students.
Mr. Bradshaw said with the ACTT celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, the recommissioning of its student caravan was most fitting. The student caravan was launched at the Northeastern College in Sangre Grande. Also addressing students was Dr. Michael Dowlat, Chairman of the Board of Directors at ACTT. He urged students to ensure that when they decide to pursue higher education, the institution they choose is accredited with the ACTT.
We want all you students to carry the message out to your colleagues. Tell them, check with the Accreditation Council, our website, our compendium. Every single course that is offered by a post-secondary, that will be those institutions that you will go to just after you leave O-level or A-level. And tertiary, that would be like the universities, where you could do skills-based programs, technical vocational programs, degrees, certificates. Many of you would have been looking at COSTAT, UE, UTT, USC, Trinsweiler. You have a lot of schools doing legal studies. Look at our website and ensure that you learn a little bit about the programs you want to pursue. Because if it's not on our website and our list, they are not bona fide programs.
Dr. Dowlat explained that should students fail to do this, their entire future could be in jeopardy.
The certificate that you get at the end of it will be useless. Employers will not recognize them. These programs must first be recognized by the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago, or for those in technical vocational, the NTA, the National Training Agency. So I want you students to start thinking ahead. Your future really starts now.
Felicia Wilson, More News 4.
Sport is up right after the break. Stay with us. The Grassroots program is one of FIFA's major initiatives geared towards football development. After stops in Point Fortin, Manzanilla and Blanchisseuse, the local caravan stopped in Morval with some of the nation's top players who contribute to the program. Wayne Cunningham has more.
Former senior national football team captain Denzel Theobald spoke about his involvement in the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association's Grassroots Community Clinic as it made a stop at its club support base in Mova.
Just come here to vibes up with the kids and them in the coaching clinic of the TTFA. You know, it's something that I'm privileged to be part of. You know, and it's good to see that the youths here doing something positive in an environment that is labeled as a negative. You know, so it's always a pleasure to be part of this. It's been going on for a couple of years because Caledonia started a program like this as well. You know, and it's very good to see that the TTFA is taking this initiative to do something positive in rural areas, like we like to say borderline areas. You know, so it's always something that I like to be part of. You know, to show my appreciation and to give back to the game. You know that I've been fortunate to receive from the game all the blessings. Yeah.
The benefits of these clinics were outlined by the 2006 World Cup player.
These basics is something that it lays the foundation for you to grow as a player, not only as a player but as a person as well. So the kids come here to have fun, but besides having fun, they learn the principles and the morals and the values of life as well, besides the sport. And you can see it bears fruit in terms of having players like myself and other players like Atola Guerra who come from these areas and was able, to be a positive light onto the younger generation today. So you can see that it was able to bear fruit from having, clinics like these and stuff. And we always, as players, would like to see more effort geared towards the younger generation, having much more developed fields, having much more programs on a consistent basis like these, to bring that positiveness, to bring that mentality from the kids and then from these areas, to look forward to playing football.
Denzel was also impressed with the response from the villagers.
The children have been responding well. You look around, you can see they're having fun, they're enjoying themselves. You can see the parents coming out to give them that support as well, and like I say, that's all goes well, and it brings a smile to my face because it's something that you always dream of. you know, having clinics like these in these rural areas for such a long time. You know, it's just for us now to keep at it, you understand, and to be persistent about it as well, and be able to see the positives happening, because you never know. Maybe you can find the next Atula Guerra, Denzel Table, Russell Latipi, or even Dwight York in clinics like these.
The Caledonia AIA Star also recognized other noteworthy contributors to the development of Trinidad and Tobago football.
We have been fortunate enough, you know, to have the government support, you know, the sport company support and the Ministry of Sport. You know, even in times when Trinidad football wasn't doing well, you know, and we went to them for support, they was able to back us up and to show their support towards us. And it's something we feel appreciative towards, you know, and whatever way, you know, we can give back in terms of positiveness, you know, we're willing to do that. You know, so we just want to say, extend our congratulations to the Ministry of Sport and the sport company, you know, for being able to back us up with this initiative, and, you know, to continue that partnership towards a brighter future of football in Trinidad and Tobago and sports in general.
The next stop for the clinic will be at Labre on March 16th. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
News 4 continues right after the break. Stay with us. The Association of Caribbean States and the United Nations World Tourism Organization has signed a memorandum of understanding in order to revitalize and improve collaboration and cooperation between the two organizations in the area of sustainable tourism. The MOU, which was renegotiated and replaces a former agreement, provides for technical cooperation in coordinating actions for the implementation of projects and activities in areas of mutual interest.
The Association of Caribbean States and the United Nations World Tourism Organization have signed a Memorandum of Understanding in order to revitalize and improve collaboration and cooperation between the two organizations in the area of sustainable tourism. The MOU, which was renegotiated and replaced a former MOU agreement, provides for technical cooperation in coordinating actions for the implementation of projects and activities in areas of mutual interest. The MOU acknowledges the importance of pooling efforts in order to achieve greater reach and impact of initiatives to contribute to the sustainability of tourism in the region. The conference, Tourism as a Key Sector for Development in Island States, was jointly organized by the Ministry of Tourism of the Bahamas and the UNWTO and took place from February 19th to 20th, 2014 in Nassau, Bahamas. The conference featured panel discussions by high-level experts and ministers from the region on topics such as maximizing the local benefits of tourism, transport and air connectivity as a major factor for SIDS destinations, regional integration, and climate change and environmental challenges. As part of the conference, a ministerial roundtable meeting for small island developing states was also held to deal specifically with air connectivity and tourism. One of the main outcomes of this event will be a conclusion document that will provide input into the third International Conference on SIDS to be convened in Samoa in September 2014, called for by the United Nations. Participation was received from over 50 high-level delegations from countries and organizations across the Greater Caribbean. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Thank you for joining us.